Yo, good morning, and how art thou? Been working on my old English. Anyway, confession. Okay, when you say confess, it has such a negative connotation to it, right? So, like, there's confessing your sins and stuff like that, and then there's confessing what's good and right and true. So, recently, I wanted to pray for the pastor. It was their 2-year anniversary, and I wanted to say, one by one, let's come up here, look this old boy in the eye, and say, hey, thank you for fill in the blank. And then thought about confession later, and then I thought about sparring for training. So, as a way to kind of spar with your spiritual armor and forgiveness and these different ways to wage war, confessing what is done right has been completely overlooked. And in the way of Skip-Opotamus, there should be some way. Maybe we're skipping school right now. Maybe I'll call this skipping school. Skipping school, the way of the potamus. There you go. The Skip-Opotamus. Anyway, so the thought was get a chair. That way if somebody's got to sit down, they can sit down. But come there and confess what you did, what the pastor has done right. And then how the pastor can be lifted up in that moment, because they got a lot of pressure. And they hear everybody's problems. But it'd be nice if everybody had a genuine thank you and here's why. In the process, there's kind of some confessing that the pastor's a good dude. Well, that, if he's a good dude, he's a good dude. And he deserves that, worker's worth his wage. But then you're also outing yourself in that you're not perfect and the pastor helped you with something, So if everybody done that, now here's the thing where we're all beginning to operate as a unit, and now we're, getting through certain things together, right? So now, on that trip home from that service, maybe the kids will say, hey, Mom, thank you for this and that. Hey, Dad, thank you for this and that. And the parents can hear the confession of the children and stuff like that. And we all know how important it is to tell our kids that they are intelligent and give this positive reinforcement. So we're all God's kids, including the pastor. So let's lift him up and do that. And let's exercise some spiritual warfare techniques. You know what I mean? And the public confession is a good thing. There's some stuff, you're going to have to keep private or whatever else like that. But you're going to unlock that for the congregation by openly confessing what's good, right, true, and good. And there's typically a dynamic in my life, looking at other people's lives and reading books and everything else like that. I mean, even when Satan fell, he took a third of the angels. So there's 2/3 good angels, and God made angels, so he may have made more since then. I had a kid, and then made some more kids. So, whatever. Seeing this goodness portrayed into the world, you know what I mean? And it's like a form of training and everything. And if you're going to stand there and tell everybody, hey, we're in end times, or things are dark, or economy, or whatever, you know what I mean? Whatever that topic is for that day, whatever that sermon is, like do a little role play of like, how do we get over this? You know what I mean? And call on participation of the crowd. Maybe break into small groups of 5 to 7. Probably 7 would be good. You know what I mean? And have a little fun time at the gathering. you know, as your fellowship in or whatever else like that. And then, you know, maybe have a whistle. And just, when you blow the whistle, 3 people got to go to a different group. You know what I mean? And run the play again. Blow the whistle, 3 people move, run the play again. You know what I mean? And coach this deal for whatever the topic is. You know what I mean? Food scarcity. You know, how are you going to eat where you can't go buy it at that store? What's your plan? Go. And here's a 7-person team kind of discussing, blow the whistle, 3 people move. You know what I mean? Maybe put the chairs in a little circle or something like that, whatever. You know, get creative, whatever works for your congregation, but spar. Throw out whatever the topic is, you know what I mean? Do it to the preacher first. You know, he's always up there talking and everything and telling us what to do. You know what I mean? So let's assume some of the responsibility of the congregation. Let's assume that responsibility to participate, you know, and bring life to the church, and you know, deal with some of the stuff that's bothering everybody. You know, and there's something about speaking to the sin. You know, you cast the devil out. You don't ask God to do your job. You ask God to do His part, and then you got to do your part. Well, what is that? Let's clearly define it per each situation. Let's small group act it out and spar, and let's you know, skip hippopotamus, whatever. You know, find some jokes. Find some jokes in it. You know what I mean? Bring humor to the table. Be sure that everybody can laugh about this deal. Like, okay, today we're going to raise someone from the dead. You know, like when I was training to drive the truck, there was the best trainer out there. He was always joking with people. He had a picture of a bottle of soap that said Pride, and another one that said, it was laundry soap box that said Pride, and the other one was a dish soap bottle that said Joy. So he would ask you randomly, he'd be like, hey, you want to see my Pride and Joy? And he'd pull out that deal that had Pride and Joy on there. And it broke the tension of trying to figure out how to shift a semi-truck in city traffic. You know what I mean? So it's like, the guy was good at training or whatever like that. So you had the one-on-one with the driver, but there was 3 in the back watching it go down. And that worked out so well for learning how to drive a truck. Under stress, in the traffic, trying to learn, somebody's watching you, you know. So that's a lot of pressure. And you got to get over being embarrassed and you're scraping gears and like, you know, your less than's showing. So, you know, there's a humility that comes with all this. You know what I mean? Work that out for your congregation. But start with, thank you, Pastor, for fill in the blank. And each member has to go up there and do this. There's no cop out. There's no cop out. We're not going to leave you behind in our journey to goodness. So everyone there, everyone in the building has to walk up there and tell the pastor, look him in the eye, thank you, Pastor, for keeping the electric turned on, or whatever. You know what I mean? You can think of something. Thank you, Pastor, for the smile on your face right now. Yeah. Thank you, Pastor, for that time that you prayed for me and broke the curse of sin and death off of my life. Thank you, Pastor, when you prayed for that lady right there. And she's right there instead of dead. Thank you. You know what I mean? Like, however intense you want to get with it, whatever. You know what I mean? But, yeah, we're going to stop right there. Confess, wave the hippopotamus. Skipping school. Go get them.